Can I please get a... Oh my goodness, it worked! Oh my goodness, it worked! Okay, so, hear me out, chat. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Nate, and, ouch. Ouch. That's what I gotta say. Alright, so first things first, I gotta mention, today is crazy. Today is crazy. Everyone's probably asking, well, today was crazy, but yesterday was just as crazy. Where were you yesterday, Nate? Where were you? Allow me to, explain myself as I go full face cam. Hey, what's up? Nice to see you. You guys know I go to Penn State. I, go to college for meteorology and stuff like that. This past week was finals week. And yesterday, there was a final that I could not try and reschedule under any circumstances. You can't exactly reschedule finals. So, I apologize for not being live yesterday. I know there's a bunch of other news outlets and medias that were covering yesterday's event. It was a significant event that occurred yesterday. My heart is out for all the people who are over there that got impacted yesterday, specifically the folks that are around Omaha and in and around the area. So, bunch of crazy things with that. And some people are going to be like, oh, well, why did you do finals? You know, why couldn't you just skip finals and stuff like that? Listen, my dream, I'd like to say, is to become a meteorologist. If I don't pass those finals, my dream to become a meteorologist gets delayed more and more and more over time. And I don't want that to happen. So, I needed to choose college first, so that way I'd be able to have another crack at something like this today. Before I show you the outlook of severe weather here today, I do want to mention one thing. There is going to be a change here on your scenery, and something that I am very, very excited about. Very, very excited about. So, with that being said, take a look at the bottom part of your screen. We have done it, ladies and gentlemen. We have found a way, someone has actually found a way for me to be able to have the active warnings and watches in all the counties down there at the bottom. I think everyone has heard me blabber on about this for God knows how long, about how much I wanted this, so that way I can try and make information more plentiful for people here in this channel. And there you go. See that? Now we actually have it. Now we are actually one step closer to where we want to be. So, once again, we have a long day of severe weather anticipated. I want to get into, however, the fact that there is some severe weather here today. Now, we'll go over to this. We'll show you guys. I have tinkered with the watches a little bit, the coloring. Before, the coloring is all sorts of different weird stuff. Now, you can see that our tornado watch box is actually this lighter red. Almost kind of like this, it's not even a pink. It's just like a dehydrated red, if you will. That's going to be our tornado watch from now on. However, there is the potential for us today to see a new watch, a new tornado watch that we have not seen since March of last year. That is a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch. They have mentioned this through the mesoscale discussion that a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch will likely be needed at some point. And this is mainly for the threat of significant tornadoes. All right, the threat for significant tornadoes is likely here today, as the Storm Prediction Center has noted that it is likely that there is going to be the threat for a widespread tornado outbreak. I also want to mention here, as I take off the stuff that you can see here on your screen, so that way everyone can kind of get a general idea on what the threat for severe weather is here across portions of the United States. Here is the risk for severe weather. If you are in the light green, you are in a general thunderstorm risk. Don't worry about it. You guys are good. If you are in the dark green, you are in a 1 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. That is mainly where the extreme outskirts of some of these thunderstorms could potentially exist, but the chances of that is very, very unlikely. However, if you want, you still can watch out for the threat of severe weather within your area. Just know it is mostly unlikely within that general vicinity. If you are in the yellow, you are in a 2 out of 5 in the severe weather scale. And this is where you need to start paying attention. This yellow area here that extends all the way from Del Rio up through near the Dallas-Fort Worth area through Abilene, all the way up near St. Louis into Chicago, as well as the portions of Des Moines, and areas that are in extreme eastern Colorado. All right. You guys have a 2 out of 5 of the severe weather scale, to where there could be the potential for some severe storms to exist within that area. It is not going to be widespread, as the probability of some of these storms being widespread is not very high. But if there are storms that form within that area, they are likely to be severe. Now this is where we start to get into the more extreme areas. If you are in the orange, you need to pay attention here today. Very, very closely. There is a 3 out of 5 in the severe weather scale, and that includes areas near Colby, Hayes, Kansas City, southern portions of Omaha, Des Moines, all the way down through Springfield, Fayetteville, Dallas, Fort Worth, over to Abilene, and the surrounding areas over there. If you live in those areas, you need to watch out, once again, for the threat of severe weather here today, especially as it is likely for there to be some, once again, pretty substantial severe weather. How substantial? Well, anywhere within this orange is likely to see some form of significant severe weather of some kind. We're talking about the threat for large hail greater than golf ball sized. We're talking about damaging winds that are greater than hurricane force. We're also talking about the threat for tornadoes that could be strong. Now, people may ask if they're on this channel for the first time, well, duh, tornadoes are always strong. In the relative sense, there are weak tornadoes that are comparable to, say, just a gust of wind that blows over, a lawn chair. And then there's the strong tornadoes that can do substantial damage. Strong tornadoes can include EF2, strength, or higher. And, we've seen events that have occurred even yesterday to where the threat for significant tornadoes was possible. And they did happen. They did happen, unfortunately, across portions of Nebraska and Iowa, as well as some localized areas down into Texas, Kansas, and Missouri. There is a good chance that today we will likely see significant tornadoes within the orange area. Whether it will be widespread or not, that part is a bit unlikely, especially as you start to get further north. The further north you get, the less widespread it will likely be, with the exception of the extreme northern portions of this orange risk. That'll be the connection from Des Moines all the way to Hayes and Colby. All right. But the big thing here to take away from this is that your significant tornado threat starts to show up once you get into this orange risk. And finally, the big elephant in the room, we have to talk about the giant red area. The giant red area here is a 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. For reference, the Storm Prediction Center, who issued this outlook, actually considered upgrading it to a 5 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, but instead they decided to just expand the 4 out of 5 by a good 50 to 100 miles. Regardless of the fact that it is a 4 out of 5 and that it could have been a 5 out of 5, a 4 out of 5 and a 5 out of 5 can do very similar things when it comes to severe weather scale. The only difference is that there's a lot more confidence that is put into a 5 out of 5. When a 5 out of 5 on a severe weather scale gets issued, when a high risk gets issued, that's when they know 100% certainty that something's going to happen right within that area. All right, they just know. They know based off of the trends, they know based off of the models, they know based off of everything that something is going to happen. The only reason why they didn't upgrade a 4 out of 5 to a 5 out of 5 is because there is still a couple of question marks as to where specifically the main activity is going to be within this red. And once they know, or if they decide to upgrade up to that point, once they know, and once they have higher confidence, a 5 out of 5 could potentially be introduced. Do I think it'll be introduced at this point? Honestly, no. I think the only time, the best time that they would have been able to upgrade this risk would have been approximately 20 minutes ago. They did not do that. But regardless, I think regardless of the fact, this is still going to be a very significant tornado event. So how significant are we talking? We talked about how the 3 out of 5 in the severe weather scale in the orange, that is where the main, or not the main, that is where the risks for significant tornadoes starts to increase. The risk for significant severe weather to start to increase. The red, this is where we can anticipate widespread tornadoes. We can anticipate widespread tornadoes here within this red area. And so, if you live within this red area, you need to consider a tornado plan. All right? You need to have a way to get into a sturdy building and to get in the lowest innermost part of it. If you if you can, you need to be able to try to contact other people. If you have a mobile home, if you live in a mobile home, you need to contact people to be able to get into a sturdy structure of some kind. They need to be able to get into that sturdy structure of some kind, so that way they may be able to have a chance at being safe if a tornado moves through their area. Otherwise, if you don't, and this is something that I haven't said very often here on this channel, you cannot guarantee your safety. You cannot guarantee your safety if you don't put yourself in a position to be safe. Being in a mobile home is not going to make you safe. I have seen winds that are 50 miles per hour do significant damage to a mobile home. Imagine what happens if an EF4, an EF3, or, worst case scenario, God, I hope that doesn't happen today. I hope no tornadoes happen today. All right. But worst case scenario in EF5, imagine if a tornado that is strong of that caliber moves towards a mobile home. Nothing will be left. And if you're in that mobile home, that includes you too. So, it is very important, once again, for people to understand that if you will live in a mobile home here today, you cannot risk being in the path of a storm. If you are in the path of a storm, you need to understand that this is the reason why you need to have a tornado action plan. This is the reason why you need to be able to get into a sturdy structure and to stay away from windows. If you also know that a tornado is heading directly for your area, make sure that you have a car accessible. Just because you may not have an area that you can get into a sturdy building does not mean that you can't do things to be safe. the best way to be safe, if you know a tornado is heading into your area and you have a lot of time, you can drive away from the path. You can drive away from the general path of the tornado. And so if I call any of your guys' towns here today, I promise you, I'll let you know if you guys, or where you guys can go or should go if a storm does move on through your area. So please be sure, once again, if you live in any of these areas, this is the orange or the red risk. All right, any of these areas right here that I am outlining in this black, you need to watch out for the potential, or not even the potential, the likelihood of a tornado outbreak within this area. If you haven't already, please be sure to help us spread the information with as many people as possible. If you know anyone that lives within these areas, send a text message to them. I promise you, it's going to be needed. If they don't believe you, tell them to tune into local news. Local news is probably going to have the best coverage for their local area, but of course, if you want to help spread the impact of my channel, you can copy the link to this live stream, send my live stream to them as well. I promise you, I'll take care of everyone. I'll talk about as many storms as I possibly can to try and make sure that everyone can be safe as long as they're watching my channel. I'm going to be that dedicated to you. I'm not going to just focus on one storm. You know, it's going to be very easy for a lot of people here today, whether you're on local news, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on whatever social media site or on TV. It's going to be very easy for someone to focus into one storm. There might be one storm here today that could be the most significant tornado. All right. But the problem with that is that there's likely to be more than just one tornado. There's going to probably be more than that. And so it is one thing for one person to be a bystander and to watch everything. It's another for someone to be proactive and to talk about everything. So I promise you guys, with everything that I got here today, I'm going to try and talk about anything and everything. So that way, as many people can be as informed as they possibly can be. All right, once again, I'm going to go over the risk here. Just the orange areas, all right? If you are in the orange area or in the red area, you need to please watch out for the threat of severe weather here today. It is likely a tornado outbreak. It is going to occur across this area. Yeah, for people who are wondering where I was yesterday, I had finals, so I could not do anything. I could not do anything to stream yesterday. That is a new tornado watch here for portions of Kansas. We're not going to do the prob game with this tornado watch. We're going to use this as an example for everyone else to participate in the next prob game, which will be the new tornado watch that'll get issued across portions of Oklahoma. So this tornado watch here that is for portions of Kansas and extreme southeastern Nebraska, we look at two probabilities in particular that is going to be very, very interesting. Holy DC, I'm going to look at it here in a second because I did see it. Right now, you can see where my priority is right now. I know that's an absurd amount of money, but I kind of have to force myself to like not lose it. I gotta keep myself composed. So trust me, I saw it. I'm gonna shout you out here in a second. Trust me when I say that. I just need to stay composed. We take a look at two probabilities that come from a tornado watch. All right. We take a look at the probability of two or more tornadoes that could occur within a tornado watch. And then we take a look at the probability of one or more strong tornadoes, that is EF2 to EF5 within the tornado watch. And you can put that in as two different probabilities in chat. So see how people are saying in chat 70-60? That is the probability of our tornado watch here today. All right, probability of two or more tornadoes is 70%. the probability of one or more strong tornadoes within this tornado watch here in Kansas is 60%. So it is a 70-60 tornado watch risk. So the next event that we are going to have, or I should say the next tornado watch that we have, we are going to do the prob game to guess what the probability of the new tornado watch will be. So if you want to participate, feel free to do so. It is likely that the probs will be higher than what is mentioned. And remember that you need to have numbers that are divisible by 10. Unless if this is a PDS tornado watch, then we could have a 95% stuck in there. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. All right. Holy DCE. Once again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. I'm gonna need something. I'm gonna need help. I really am gonna need something here today. But thank you so much for the $150 super chat. That really does mean a lot to me, and it does support the channel. It helps with upgrades too. So yeah, hopefully with what happens this whole month, you know, we're really gonna want to figure out what's going to be happening with the channel. But I'm actually going to have to order delivery here at some point today. I'm going to have to. Because I am actually the only one that's currently in this house, which is interesting to consider the following moment. But all right, let's get into the severe weather risk. Let's start talking about storms, shall we? We've blabbered on enough. We've blabbered on enough. It is time for us to talk about the storms in particular, and we're going to try and make sure that once again we talk about as many storms as we possibly can. We want to talk about every single thunderstorm. We want to try and make sure that every single person here that could potentially be impacted is informed and aware that stuff is going to be happening. And so I want to also make sure that everyone understands in chat that unfortunately I'm not going to be getting out to every single person in where someone is going to be living. There is going to be too much activity here today to the point to where there is a very good chance that I'm just going to have to talk about the storms that are only doing stuff currently. And when I start to see a storm and when I start to talk about it, I'll talk about where that storm is going to be heading off towards as well as the timing. But you need to be paying attention to what I'm saying because there's the likelihood that I'm not going to be able to do individual people and telling people what, how, you know, what the weather is going to be like for their area. What I recommend you do is if you really are that concerned about your area, either download a weather radar that is on mobile app. That could be Omega, Radar Omega. That could be Radar Scope. Or you can look on to weather.gov. If you go to www.weather.gov, you will take a look at all the current warnings that has been issued across the United States. You can filter it to your area by clicking where you live, and you'll be able to see those warnings. Refresh that every now and then, or it should be able to update automatically. I can't remember for certain, but once again, it is recommended that you guys pay attention to your own areas as well, so that way you guys may be able to watch out for your own area specifically. But as I said, I'm going to talk about as many of these storms as I possibly can. Pull up the OKC cam since it's a metropolitan area. Virtual Rail fan has OKC. Yeah, I'll look at it eventually. But as I said, I appreciate everyone who has came out to the stream here so far. And once again, the whole goal for us here today is for us to be able to try and spread the information with as many people as possible. Farmer Matt with the 201 bits. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And then Wade in Maine with the 100 bits. Thank you so much. Once again, I really do appreciate that as well. All right, let's talk about the severe thunderstorms here that are starting to range across portions of southern Kansas down into Oklahoma. I'm actually going to move our Oklahoma City radar all the way up into Wichita. That'll at least give us a general idea. Severe thunderstorm warning here. This is for portions of Cali and Sumner counties in Kansas. That'll be in effect for another 43 minutes. So at about 12:45 is when this is going to expire. This is going to head off into the Wellington, the Oxford, the Winfield, the Udall, the Cicero areas, as well as areas over near Rome and South Haven. If you live over there, the potential for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as half-dollar sized hail as possible. It is likely to be over here near the Rome and the South Haven areas. You can see a lot of high reflectivity in regards to areas that are in the dark red and even some pinks that are localized within that area. So if you know anyone that lives within those general vicinities, I'd advise you to not be outdoors. If you have any pets that are outside or any sort of valuables like cars, plants, or maybe even people, I'd bring them into some form of shelter as well. But this is once again going to be heading towards the Rome, the Wellington, the Oxford, and the Winfield areas. And once again, you have a severe thunderstorm warning here that will be in effect until 12:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Moving off down to the south and west, we have another storm here with a damage threat considerable tag on it. Golf ball sized hail moving down into Clio Springs and Alene. This is heading into Major County as well as southeastern Woods County and southern Alfalfa County here into portions of Oklahoma. If you guys live over here into portions of, once again, Orienta as well as Clio Springs, Alene, Helena, Goltry, as well as Ringwood and Fairview, you guys need to get indoors, stay away from windows. Very, very robust hail core down here into the central portions of the body of the storm. You can see a lot of pinks and even some purples that are localized within that area. We can go over to the maximum expected hail size indicator, and it can show us a lot of areas to where there could be quarter-sized hail and even areas that are larger than quarter-sized. Areas within this green is what we want to look for that specifically, and that is exactly what we are seeing as it's marching off towards the east. This is going to be, once again, heading off towards Clio Springs, Ringwood, as well as Helena, Goltry, and it'll eventually move to areas that are to the west of Enid. So if you guys live over there, definitely want to watch out for that. But once again, new severe thunderstorm warning. It's actually not exactly new, but is a severe thunderstorm warning with a damage threat considerable tag for Alfalfa, Major, and Woods counties. That'll be in effect until 12:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Moving off down to the south and west, we have another severe thunderstorm warning here for portions of Roger Mills, Dewey, Ellis, northern Custer County, southeastern Woodward counties, as well as western Major counties. That'll be in effect once again until 12:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. A lot of storms here in general that are just kind of going in and around this general area. A lot of big bodies of storms here in regards to heavy amounts of precipitation. You got a lot of these reds and even some pinks that are localized within this area. Already got a report of golf ball sized hail from this previous storm that is over near the ceiling area, and I actually got 2 reports of golf ball sized hail within this area. So these storms definitely are going to be producing a lot of large hail, and it is definitely something that should continue to be monitored as this is going to continue to move on through. But once again, new severe thunderstorm warning over there. It'll be heading off into the ceiling area. So if you're in ceiling here in Oklahoma, guys need to get indoors, stay away from windows. And once again, if you have any valuables outside, make sure that they are brought inside. That includes pets, that includes plants, that includes cars, all sorts of areas over there. Guys need to watch out once again. We also have another severe thunderstorm warning down here into portions of Cottle County here in Texas. This is definitely going to be a storm that we're going to want to watch out here as this continues to move off towards the north and east. I'm going to move a couple of my radars around so that way we can try and make sure everyone gets even coverage for the most part. We can move this radar over to OKC, move that one over to Vance, move that one to Wichita. And once again, if you guys haven't already, please be sure to help spread the information with as many people as possible. We're going to be talking about this for a long time here today. We're expecting a tornado outbreak, widespread tornado outbreak over here from portions of northern Texas all the way over into portions of Kansas. You can see right above me, that is exactly where you could see it. And just the area in the red contours, that's where you're going to want to watch out for the threat of some significant tornadoes that could occur today, especially since this is going to be as widespread as we anticipate it to be here. So once again, please watch out for that as that continues to move on through. Farmer Matt with the 5,099 bits. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Says hello. Thank you so much for the 5,000. That's 5,099 bits. I really do appreciate you. Let's move our radar over to Frederick. We got this little thunderstorm that's moving from Cottle County over to portions of Ford and Hardman counties. This is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for another 7 minutes. So at about 12:15, is when this warning will expire. It is likely they're going to issue a new warning, to be honest with you, that'll move off towards the Quanah, as well as the Chillicothe and the Medicine Mound areas, well to the north of Crowell in the portions of Texas. So if you live over there in Hardeman County, as well as areas north of US Highway 70 here into portions of Ford County, that is where the storm is going to head off towards, and you guys are definitely going to want to be able to get indoors, stay away from windows, and if you have any sort of valuables outside, like pets, plants, cars, make sure to put them under some form of roof. Right now, there's also some other thunderstorms that are starting to form across the board. It is not anything super significant at this time, but we can anticipate some of these storms to start to basically uptick in activity here within the short term. And that's what we're going to want to watch out for, the storms that could potentially produce our significant tornadoes. We'll go back to this here and we'll show you guys once again. This is our risk for severe weather here today. This is where the threat for tornadoes can occur. If you live in areas here in this orange area that is in the background, or this red area, the threat for strong tornadoes is possible here. And if you live in the red area, the threat for strong tornadoes is likely within an area that is within 25 miles of a place. So please be sure to watch out for that if you haven't already, as this is expected to be a pretty widespread tornado event here, especially on the heels of what happened. Expected to be a letter that everyone understands that the threat for significant weather is likely here today. All right, at no point do we here today. All right, at no point do we expect there to that we are going to be. If you try and talk about as many thunderstorms as I possibly can be today, I don't care if my voice gets hoarse at the end of the day, it is going to happen. All right. Yesterday, I had finals. It's something that I could not finish, or something that I could not skip, especially if I wanted to be a meteorologist. Everything that I've got, anything and everything. So, once again, something to consider. Holy DCE with the 100, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Says, me and Farmer Matt are going to help you upgrade your computer. We're coordinating this, stay weather aware. Well, I appreciate it. Really? I'm going to try and fix it. Why does my stream always do this? Did I fix it? Says current video is interlaced, but interlaced video is not supported. All right, let me see if I can fix that. How to fix interlaced video YouTube live streaming. So, but interlace. All right, I'll tell you what. Fortunately for right now, the output. I'm going to see if I can change the output. So I might have to turn off and turn it back on again, of course. Output. Streaming. Yeah. Cool. All right. What if YouTube's trolling me? Well, that would just suck, wouldn't it?